Welcome to MovieBitches, episode 86.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah. So tonight we're reviewing My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2.
Let's do this thing.
The 10-year-old sequel that no one was asking for.
Isn't it 13 years old?
Oh, is it really?
I think it might be.
God.
It's at least a decade old. So...
This movie was not even a movie.
It was a mild waste of time.
Right?
Is what I would say.
Yes.
It was like, well, this is happening in front of me.
This movie was like a mixture of retelling the same jokes from the first movie. Being like, remember that first time you thought this was funny? We're gonna try it again.
But like less successfully.
Yep. It was a mixture of that, Nina being a horrible actress.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Bad dialogue.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
And not very funny Greek jokes.
I haven't seen the original movie since it came out.
I mean, I haven't seen it in at least 10 years.
I don't remember it being, like, offensive.
Oh, no.
But this felt offensive.
Although, I mean, in 14 years, a lot of things change.
Everybody has boys. You, vegetarian. One girl.
You know, you realize,
Offensive
oh God, that wasn't
14
funny.
years ago.
Yeah, you look back at some of these movies and
so
you're like,
maybe if we watched it, we'd be like, ooh.
But also, I think the other one was much better written.
Because I remember the first one being, like, charming and silly.
Absolutely. I still quote that movie to this day.
So, I don't know.
It was my twin.
Inside the lump was my twin. Spanicopita.
Well, and the first one is a rom-com.
Yes.
So you're like, oh, I'm invested in this romance. The second one is...
A family drama?
Comedy?
A family comedy?
Family comedy?
Well, like, the thing that was so funny about the first one was the outsider. He was an outsider being brought into this crazy family.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy fuck balls, do I want to marry this crazy bitch and her family?
That was the poster quote.
Yes. Holy fuck.
The same thing kept happening.
Yes. It was the same scenes being repeated.
The same, like, so the family would show up and they'd be embarrassing and the grandpa would be like, you need to get married. And it was like, but the same thing kept happening and then they would just justify it and be like, that's what family is. Is it? This seems unhealthy.
Who says a woman has to be married? You. All our lives.
You better get married. You're starting to look old.
It was sort of like shoving this like pseudo-feminist ideals into it, but then it just like copped out at the end. Like it was like women like should empower themselves and they don't need to be married and they shouldn't be their husband's slaves and da-da-da-da-da. But then at the end of the movie, everyone's just like married and they're doing their husband's laundry again. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. Well, and
nothing happened.
Here's my...
Like, what happened in this movie?
I don't know.
Did anything happen in this movie?
No. So the daughter, who is like boring, stupid, half-assed character.
She's just like, I'm a teenager.
Like, it was just such a caricature, right? I wish that instead of making the character, you know, like instead of having their daughter be like, oh, I'm so embarrassed by my family. They should have had her be like, I am a strong woman. And you know what? No, Poppy G, whatever his name was. I'm not going to get married unless I want to and whatever, because I want to find someone who's going to respect me and support my goals and my life and whatever. Yeah. And she inspires her grandmother to then be like, you know what? I feel my granddaughter, and I'm not sure I want to get married again either.
You know what? That would have been a great movie.
It would have been a great movie.
I mean, it would have been better. Let's get real. It wouldn't have been great, but it would have been better.
It would have been a lot better. Because even with the first one, that was the whole point. Like, she stood up to her family.
Said, I'm not going to marry a Greek guy. I'm going to marry
this guy that I like.
Yeah.
And so I feel like they should have taken it the next step.
I mean, she ultimately does, like, choose her own path.
To go to NYU away from an hour flight away from Chicago.
No one ever stands up to anyone. Oh. Every time there was even kind of a moment of like real emotion, they would undercut it with like some bad taste joke, and you'd be like, oh, well, that's over with. Okay, next, moving on.
Yep.
And even though I'm taking a step back, I will always be right here. Okay! Get the door, go! No, don't get the door! Get the door! Just go over there! Wait, what am I doing? That's stupid! Be cool, be cool.
It was like the most Greekiest Greek movie. I mean, I think they're Greek. I mean, it was like crazy. Literally, there was a line where she's like, oh, I need wrinkle cream, and Andrea Martin was like,
Greek don't creak.
There was a lot of bad Greek jokes.
A lot of bad Greek jokes.
Like the great grandma, literally the first time you see her, she's hiding under a table with like a tray of spanakopita.
Spanakopita.
Like that happens in this film. They're like, where is she? And then they lift up and, oh, there she is. It's spanakopita.
Spanakopita.
I mean, it was so weird. Like, I didn't get it. I didn't get the jokes. I didn't get who it was written for.
It was written for, like...
Did she think this
moms?
was funny?
Yeah. Oh, they all, like, had a great time on set laughing about this. They were all like, let's all get back together. Remember how much fun we had? Although, John Corbett and Nina Vardalos' chemistry, it seems like they have not spoken since the last film. Like, it was
Are they not together anymore?
They're not together in real life.
Oh, I thought they were married.
She's married to the bald guy from Cougar Town.
Oh.
I think they're still together.
What reality show was that where, like, they came on?
They were on the Great British Bake Off, but it was like the American Bake Off.
Oh, they were the hosts of the American version of the Great British Bake Off. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Ooh, and she was not good.
They both were not good.
She
spent all of her time on British Bake Off just showing off her skinny legs. She's like, look at how thin I am. Look at me. Look, I've got tall boots and a short skirt. Look at me. Look at my thighs. This movie also had one of my biggest pet peeves where it's like a character who wears glasses break, and they're like, oh, well.
I'm not going to wear them.
You need those to see.
I thought that was going to be like a whole scene where she like couldn't see and it was a problem.
She's just fine. This movie wasn't really about the wedding at all.
No.
Like nothing happens.
Right.
But also there was no...
It wasn't even... Also, like, her
up.
granddaughter doesn't come to the wedding because she's at prom.
At 4 in the afternoon?
Like, what?
Daytime prom.
They're like, she's like, I can't make it to the wedding, but I'll make it to the reception. And I'm like, wait, but wouldn't it be the opposite?
I also thought it was really bizarre. So in the first, I don't know, 20 minutes of the film, it's all about, well, the recession hit and I can't be a travel agent anymore.
Yeah.
And things are tough. Times are tough.
I think the script was written 6 years ago.
Certainly. But the whole thing was like, the recession. And then it was like, let's have a giant wedding. And then they can afford it.
Well, but then they all decide to not do the big wedding. They're like, let's plan it.
I mean, it was still a pretty big fucking wedding.
But it was like in their backyard and at church. That doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
And the catering was done by like their restaurant.
Yeah. Still pretty expensive.
I don't know.
I don't think they sold at home that it was like, let's slapdash this together. For me.
They were spray painting the floor blue with like little Greek stencils. Like, yeah, that was pretty slapdash.
Are they Greek? So John Stamos is in this film.
Why?
Greek yogurt?
I mean, like, but they didn't have any Greek yogurt in the movie.
It was literally like, oh, who's Greek and like semi-famous? Let's get John Stamos to be in this movie. Like, he had no point.
No point.
At all.
No.
To be in this film.
So stupid.
The only thing that I actually kind of liked about this movie was, this is like, I find the statement I'm about to make shocking. Joey Fatone is in this film. For the first half of the movie, we were like, oh, so he's clearly gay. But it is not even kind of addressed. And then there's sort of a nice little scene where his brother says, you know, family doesn't have to keep secrets from each other. Like, it's cool. Like,
right.
I get it. And then his mom is like, I know, it's okay. And they have, like, sort of a nice moment. It was handled sort of tastefully.
It was.
He didn't, like, become a flaming, like, homosexual afterwards, like, now I can be gay. Like, he was like, I'm just still me, and that's fine. And I was like, you know what? You handled that well, movie.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Right? I agree.
Why is Joey Fatone my favorite part of Big Fat Greek Wedding 2? On what planet does that make sense? It wasn't great. I wouldn't see it, actually.
No. I mean, maybe you could kill some time on Netflix if and when it gets there, but
even then,
there are better things you could do.
Maybe just go watch the first one.
Right? Just watch the first one.
Tell us if it's good still.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
I don't know either.
Let us know, because I kind of want to know.
Yeah. Is it like, does it hold up? Is it offensive? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Cheers.
Cheers.